My political editor is prompting me to ask you about Trump's decision to keep the challenges going to the election, some of the lawsuits and so forth, maybe even a strategy to challenge the Electoral College vote certification in Congress. Do you think that the president is hurting himself by keeping these challenges going, or should he continue the fight?
I think he's hurting himself, and I think he's hurting the country by keeping it going. I mean, the fact is, listen, I'm a big supporter of the president. I was the first one of his 2016 opponents to endorse him. We've been friends for 20 years. I prepared him for his debates in 2016, headed his transition in 2016, prepared him for his debates in 2020. But there is no evidence that I've seen that there was fraud that occurred in this election that would change the result. And nor have courts all across this country found any such evidence either.
This is not a drill. The President of the United States is weighing the kind of action you see in dictatorships. John Berman here in for Anderson. So more than a month ago, with the president refusing to accept his election defeat, a senior Republican official asked a reporter from the Washington Post, and I'm quoting now, what's the downside of humoring him for this little bit of time? After all, this official said, it's not like he's plotting how to prevent Joe Biden from taking power on January 20th. Tonight, the evidence is growing that he is. And another official told CNN today, quote, no one is sure where this is heading.
It's not just that we are in a coup, but we're at the beginning of a coup that will only get more violent. Coups don't have to be successful, right? It's like attempted murder. Attempted murder is still a crime, even if you're not successful. You have people storming state capitals. We had people trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Today in Oregon, you had people breaking into the state capitol and shooting chemical agents at local police officers and journalists. They're all acting at the behest of Donald Trump. Unless anybody thinks that it's like, well, they're not directly. Remember, this is the guy who, during a presidential debate, told the Proud Boys, who are a terrorist organization or a terrorist sympathizing organization, to stand by and, stand up and stand by. So this is what the president is calling for. The meetings are going to be less problematic than the number of men and women that you have on the ground who are willing to engage in violence. So that is the danger here. It has to be seen as a danger. And the men and women who are placating the president on this, the men and women in Congress who are pretending that this isn't really an issue, they are now terrorist sympathizers.
Terrorist sympathizers. You know what that means in the Department of Homeland Security. Just saying, this is the type of heated, over-the-top rhetoric you don't see stop. I want to say one thing before I turn it over to the team. We're trying to get Jenny Beth Martin from the Tea Party Patriots down in Georgia on this in a minute, but you've seen what we've been saying from the entire time. This is all about the state legislatures. No fairy godmother's going to come in here and sprinkle magic dust on you. You got to grind it, and that's why the grinders are winning. Okay, and you see this and this is about details. This isn't about being relentless, not stopping, but just continue to push it, to push it, to push it. I want to just make an observation on Chris Christie. Chris Christie did not run the debate prep in 2016. I got rid of him, right? We brought him in on occasions too, because he bailed during Billy Bush weekend, the gutless coward. I shouldn't call him gutless. I guess he got a gut, but he's a coward. Was that a cheap shot? Maybe. And I also fired him the moment, several hours after the president won. He was terminated because the disaster, all his buddies in Trenton, all the scumbags up there in Jersey, right? And they are Jersey scumbags, okay? And I think he finished as governor after all the lies and misrepresentation at 9%, okay? That scumbag it had a complete disaster on the transition. It had all this, it was the Jersey swamp going to go to D.C., of which at some later time I will go through chapter and verse and invite the governor on, the former governor on, to debate that. But no, he's bailed. He bailed initially, putting a knife in President Trump's back and then tearing up the Constitution. Just look at the facts. All we want to deal with here is evidence and facts and data. And that's what we want CNN to do and MSNBC to do, to dial down the heated rhetoric and stick to the facts. Gentlemen, coming out of, you saw Rudy. This is pretty straightforward. Now you have a committee, and it's not the report's not final, but they're going to vote on it. In Arizona, it's happening. In Wisconsin, it's happening. In Michigan, it's happening. And this is why the mainstream media is going crazy. Oh, Trump's some Shakespeare. He's Richard III, right? He's running around the White House. There's all this Shakespearean drama. There's no drama. Trust me, there's no drama. There's some heated conversations, but there's no drama. People are grinding. And like I say, forget the thing of the magic fairy coming in with the Supreme Court's going to flip this thing. You're going to see, you're going to find a server on the moon in the gun battle in Frankfurt. It's all nonsense. So that's not happening. What's really happening is what you're seeing in Georgia. Mr. Raheem Kassam.
Just back to that. Well, firstly, they will miss him in the palace intrigue, but it's okay. They've got another 4 years. Secondly, on that intro just there, MSNBC, I think, has about 3.1 million YouTube subscribers, okay?
They're bigger than us?
Just a bit.
Okay.
This guy just now on MSNBC said the Proud Boys are a terrorist sympathizer organization which the president told to stand up. Those two things are both factually incorrect.
No, leave it to our partners at YouTube. I did say partners. Our partners at YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, when are they going to get a slap?
As soon as you call the guy that does the conservative thing.
I'll call him this afternoon.
Let's talk about Georgia.